Hello everyone and welcome to Module 1 of our Survivors Training Group. This module is going to focus on mindset and goal setting, and we are going to kick off with part 1, which is mindset, installing a bulletproof mindset. So why is this so important and why are we starting here first? Well, the fact is, unless you have a positive mindset, you'll never have a successful business. It's not just about believing in yourself or staying positive every day. That can only get you so far. The main purpose of this training is to get you into a position where your mindset is bulletproof. It is inevitable that you are going to have people around you that don't support you, people that doubt you. You're going to have things happen to you in life which are going to make you question who you are, what you're doing, and is it worth it? This module is designed to take you from someone who is frustrated and annoyed with what's going on to someone who sees a problem, and instead of focusing on that problem, you're straight away jumping to find a solution to that problem. The aim is to stop your mind focusing on the problem and to start working on the solution. This is the key to success in any business. There are rules that if you want to be truly successful, you are going to need to live your journey by. Make a note of these rules. Not only do you need to install these in your mind, but these are also things you may need to come back to at a later date to remember. We all have bad days, frustrating days, and these are the rules that are going to help you pull through. You can no longer do anything about what has led up to this point. So many people spend time and energy worrying about stuff they can no longer do anything about. Take today as the first line of the first chapter of your new story. It's quite easy to sit at home and think, I'm in my current position because of X, Y, Z. Whether it be your children's behaviour, your internet speed, unexpected guests, or even the weather, there are literally thousands of excuses you can use to justify the position you are in. Stop right now. The reality is, this choice of mindset is never going to improve your current circumstances. Now is the time to stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a victor. You need to become this person where your mindset is bulletproof. Nothing can hold you back. And you're going to keep moving forward regardless of what life throws at you. Now, this is key. People will continually try and find space in their life for both success and excuses. I'm going to be successful, but I can't do it today because, and I can't do it tomorrow because. Here's the reality. If you're the type of person who consistently makes excuses in their life, you are going to struggle to become successful. This is a fact. You can't have excuses and success. You're going to be uncomfortable. You may have to make sacrifices. It may be really hard some days to maintain focus, but here's the reality. If you're convincing yourself it's okay not to do any work, that attitude is going to stop you from being successful. Some people find it really easy to build a case as to why they're not achieving success and why they're struggling. But the reality is there is someone else, somewhere, whose circumstances are worse than yours, but they've still managed to create success. The point of this training is to say, I understand that things get tough, but using excuses is not going to change where you are. Eradicating harmful habits. So this slide is full of phrases you have probably used at one stage or another, or may, if you're honest, even feel comfortable using. But the reality is, the thought process in your mind when you are using these phrases or words could be the reason you are struggling to build and have success in your business. These phrases are generally the start of finding excuses or beginning to justify where you are with your business. Do your very best to eradicate all these phrases from your life, because they are never going to serve you and they are never going to help you. All they're going to do is contribute to keeping you where you're at and where you're currently unhappy. Oh, you don't understand. Now, people will say to me, oh, Caroline, but you don't understand. It's been so hard this week. I'm so stressed and tired. Work's been really, really hard. Here's the reality. It may sound like you are genuinely justifying where you are, but it's not going to change anything at all. Like I said on the previous slide, someone somewhere probably has it a whole lot worse than you and is still working hard to get a breakthrough and to get onto a whole new level. If I had what they had, it would be easy for me to do what he does if I had his following on Facebook. Everyone loves him. He's got a brand new car. He's got a great lifestyle, etc., etc. That's the reason it's easier for him to recruit. That's the reason he finds it easy to make sales. This is the biggest load of BS ever. Here's the issue with that. People will often focus on the results of other people, but what they don't focus on is the journey. So they say to themselves, look at that big house and new car he's posted on Facebook. But what they're not asking themselves is, what did he do to get those things? How many people said no to him? How many bad days did he have? Maybe he was in the exact same position as you were when he started, but one day his mindset flipped. He suddenly became someone new. He reinvented himself, worked extremely hard, and got the things he'd always dreamed of. Think about his journey opposed to his results. If you're going to compare yourself to someone, compare the whole picture. What struggles have they been through? How hard have they worked on their business and themselves? Now, this might be a bitter pill to swallow, but the reality is the amount of effort they have consistently put into growing their business may well mean they deserve their success more than you do. Quite often, if you're seeing someone who is getting results and you're stuck at where you're at, it's normally because they're willing to go that extra mile. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this industry. Maybe I just can't make sales. Maybe I'm just one of those people that nobody wants to join. Again, this is something you can keep saying to yourself, doubting your abilities, doubting your journey, or doubting your results. This is not going to help you. You're just wasting your time, breath, and brain cells. This is so popular and can apply to prospects as well. People who say to themselves, I don't have the money. Quite often, one, they don't think of the money they are currently wasting. Two, don't think of the luxuries in their house they don't actually need or aren't even using. Or three, don't think about a way they can actually generate money. So it's quite easy for you to say, I don't have the money, when really what you should be saying to yourself is, money's quite tight this month. Are there some things I'm wasting my money on? Are there any areas I can cut back on so I can find funds to invest in my business and myself? In a nutshell, stop telling yourself you don't have the money and start thinking, how can I get the money? It's a mindset shift. Oh, this is a golden nugget right here. I wish I had more time. The people who most often say this are the ones who are most likely the ones who are wasting the time they already have. I often hear, I don't have time to do that. My first question is normally, how much television are you watching? And then that's normally quite quickly followed up by, how much time are you spending scrolling through social media? The reality is, if you are poor at managing time, having more time is not going to help you because you're going to waste more time than you already are. If you are poor at managing time, more time is not the answer. The only thing that is going to help you is to find better ways of managing your time and staying more focused. Comparing yourself to others. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. Comparing yourself to other people who are seeing results and who are doing amazing things is not going to make any difference to you. It is your job to get success in your business. It is your job to make yourself a success. It is no one else's responsibility. It is up to you. Harmful vocabulary. These are the words you probably find yourself using, but should actually try to avoid like the plague. Frustrated. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Let me break frustration down for you. Frustration is the difference between where you think you are and where you think you should be. Frustration is an opinion. You think you deserve what you don't have. It's not even a fact. You don't deserve anything. If you want something in life, you have to do enough to get it. You see, the answer to most questions in business is enough. Take, for example, how many people do I need to speak to? Enough. How many pre-enrollees do I need? Enough. How many hours a day should I work? Enough. Enough to earn the figure you want. So ask yourself, what do you actually want? Do you want results in your business? What are you willing to do to get them? It's not a case of throwing your toys out of the pram because you're frustrated. It's a case of head down, stay focused, and keep working until you get the results you want. It may take some people 6 months. It may take some people a year or even a couple of years. But if you can get exactly what you want in your life, is it worth the sacrifice? Quite often in network marketing, people have come from a background that they really don't want, and they've put up with it for a long time, like a job they've hated for 10 years. But then they only give 10 months to network marketing in a hope to change it. So you're giving something a lot less time and expecting results, and then getting frustrated. Maybe give it 10 years like you did your job. At least you're in control more. At least you can dictate your future. So look to eradicate things like frustration from your mind. The whole point of this is to wipe your mind of certain phrases, certain words, because they are just not going to serve you. Examples of overwhelming thoughts. There's too much training. Everything is too intense. I can't take everything in. I don't know where to start. Being overwhelmed is just a word for the weak. If you are someone who is constantly overwhelmed, you need to realize these feelings of overwhelm are mostly just feelings of being uncomfortable. If you want to grow, if you want to move forward in your life, you have to be uncomfortable. Everything that is great in your life comes with an element of being uncomfortable, because the rewards are worth it. Maybe you have to feel a little overwhelmed over the next few months. Maybe you've got to get a little bit tired. Maybe you're going to get knocked back, frustrated and annoyed, but here's the reality. Ask yourself the question, will it be worth it? When you're no longer doing the job you currently hate or feel forced to do, will it be worth it? When you can pay for something without having to check your account balance first, will it be worth it? Will it be worth it to stay out of your overdraft limit, to not have to keep borrowing money off friends and family? Would it be worth it to take your kids somewhere amazing, once in a lifetime, to see the smiles on their faces? Feeling overwhelmed and uncomfortable is part and parcel of growing your business and as a person. Now, if you are feeling really overwhelmed, something I will say is, can you take smaller steps? Instead of focusing on such a big vision, like I want to recruit 1,000 people, break it down into smaller steps, like concentrating on 10 at a time. That way you are hitting goals, you start to feel like you are winning, and you'll start creating momentum in your business. Excuse me, I'm so disappointed. How many times have you said this to yourself? I'm so disappointed that they didn't join. I'm so disappointed I missed that rank. I'm so disappointed that I made a great post and no one even commented on it. The issue with disappointment is that it shows you are focusing on expectations. You are expecting a result. Now, expecting results can sometimes be dangerous. It's great to be confident, but not so great to expect results. Think of it this way. How many times have you said to yourself, she's definitely going to join, and then she doesn't? Or you recruit someone into your business and you convince yourself they are going to be a rock star, the one that's going to take you to the next level, the one that's going to come in, sell a ton of product, recruit a whole team quickly, then they just sit there and do nothing. So now you're feeling disappointment, and the reason is you've expected, and then you've been focused so much on that expectation of something happening that when it doesn't, you get knocked back, you get frustrated, you get disappointed. If you start to feel disappointed, start to think about gratitude. Shift your mindset to what you are grateful for, not what you are disappointed about. For example, the people on your team who are working and producing results, be grateful for them. BS statements. Oh, I love these. These are things you have got to get out of. Do you ever find yourself saying, no one ever watches my presentation. People always ignore me. No one ever joins my team. People always say they're interested, but then they disappear. No one ever takes me seriously. Do you know what? It's not even true. I mean, do people always ignore you? Or are you actually over-exaggerating? Are you never, ever getting people to watch the presentation? Or are you just getting a low amount of people to watch the presentation? The problem with these statements is that they are BS a large percentage of the time. And the thing is, you're beating yourself up so hard, how can you possibly expect to have a mindset that's going to serve you? How can you expect any level of results when you're busy kicking your own butt so hard that you can't even focus on the positives? You can't even feel grateful because you're your own worst enemy. Don't be a victim. Be better. I guarantee some of these things we're going to discuss now are things you're doing without even realizing it. The thing about mindset and staying focused is that quite often people are damaging themselves and not even realizing it. The whole point of this first part of training is to eradicate that. Here's the reality. You can't build a skyscraper without a solid foundation. Self-sabotage does not equal success. Procrastination, the killer of most dreams. Procrastination is quite often you fearing the worst. Here's the reality. You're just trying to avoid what you're uncomfortable with. We've already discussed how you cannot grow if you're not uncomfortable, and you cannot grow if you're avoiding things you are not keen on doing. There are some things in business and in life you have to do to get results, and you don't really like them. That's it. Procrastination doesn't serve you because the reality is you're just making it a lot worse than it actually is. Now, this can happen in everyday life. Let's take doing the dishes as an example. You can sit there for 3 hours, I've done this, and think of all the excuses as to why you can't do them, why you don't feel like doing them, why you're annoyed. Or you could spend 15 minutes to get it done and then spend the next 2.5 hours doing something more positive instead of wasting energy talking yourself out of doing it in the first place. Quite often, the thing you need to get done takes a lot less time than you sabotaging yourself over and over again. So say to yourself, would it just be easier if I just did it? Sure, maybe it may not go to plan. You might fail or you might not do it perfectly, but I'm going to be steps ahead of where I would be if I did nothing. Or at the very least, I'm going to have some time spare. I'm not going to be talking myself out of doing something for 2 to 3 hours. Excuses. Excuses are easy to make. They're always present. And if you can't rely on yourself, you can rely on an excuse because they will always be there. Here's the reality. If you're someone who constantly makes excuses, you're going to struggle in everything that you try to do. Everything. Try to eradicate excuses from your life. Sure, you can't always do everything exactly when you want to do it, but constantly making excuses or reasons as to why you can't be successful will never serve you. Here's the reality. People often make excuses because it's easier than making an uncomfortable decision. If you want to grow, if you want success, it's not a walk in the park. Anybody who told you it was going to be easy was lying, or they don't have a level of success themselves. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. You're going to feel like procrastinating. You're going to feel like making excuses. But after training like this, you're going to have a mindset installed where straight away you pick up and say, do you know what? That's not going to serve me. I'm not going to do that. The blame game. Stop shifting blame from yourself and onto others. What a complete waste of time. Blame may well feel really good, but think to yourself again, is it really helping me to move forward, or am I just wasting my time? Criticism. Now, this is a tough one. Sometimes when you're struggling with results and have a lack of focus, you can start criticizing others around you and other people who have achieved success because that makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. So if you can't build a skyscraper, what's the next best thing to do? Flatten the whole goddamn town so it all looks the same. Instead of being shown up for what you aren't doing, it's more comfortable to criticize others to knock them down. Now that sounds harsh, but a lot of people do that on a regular basis. You may even have friends and family who do this to you. Please recognize that these 4 things will never serve you, and all they will do is sabotage any chance of your success. So, how do we start to really change? How do we start to build a more positive life? Here's the key. You have to picture yourself better than you are right now. You have to begin to look at yourself and think, do you know what? I deserve better. Now, it may seem hard at first to begin to visualize a great fantasy lifestyle and something that is totally different from what you are doing now. But this is the first step. It's called self-image. So ask yourself these 3 questions. What type of person do you need to be? You may visualize yourself up on stage, talking to a room full of people confidently and accepting awards and giving speeches. It doesn't mean you have these skills already. It just means you can visualize it and you can begin to focus on what you need to do and where you need to improve. How do you need to act? If you want to become a network marketing professional, you have to act professionally. No one is going to invest in you or trust in you if you're acting unreliably or like the class clown. What do you need to change? So think to yourself about who you are trying to be and what skills you may need to learn in order to get you there. Think every day about how you can improve yourself and pursue your own greatness. Excuse me. Now, this is a very important slide that I've had to put in. So here are some harsh truths for you. Your mood will determine your mindset. Understand you are going to have bad days. You could be fired up after this training, but you could wake up tomorrow, your mindset's terrible, and you might feel like quitting. It's on days like these that you will discover how much you really want the things you say you do. Potential leaders and successful people will not allow their mood to affect their progress and will shift their mindset into a more positive and productive place. Be aware of how you are feeling. Improve your mindset to improve your results. Self-doubt is normal. Now, you can complete this training, feel totally fired up, but at some point, I promise you, you'll say to yourself, I can't do this. Self-doubt is normal. It is perfectly normal. It's something we all experience and have to deal with. I wish I could give you a magic pill so you could stop doubting yourself, but I can't. Just remember, the more energy you give to self-doubt, the more it grows. Everything has a balance. If you want great things in your life, you have to be willing to put up with some bad things too. If you want great days, you have to be willing to have bad days. Everything has a balance. For every up, there's a down. For every left, there's a right. Reality is, everything has to have an opposite. Some things in life and business you can't change. This is one of them. This is huge, okay? Focus on the battle with yourself more than your battle with others. Have you ever found yourself saying, I'm going to prove my friend's partner upline wrong? What's the point? When you get a level of success, if they are habitually negative people, they are still going to be negative. So if someone is negative about what you're doing in life and they don't back you, their only response when you achieve greatness will be that you were lucky. They will not take into account the amount of hours you've put in, the amount of self-training you've done. In their opinion, you were lucky. Here's the reality. You can't change the opinions of certain people. So instead of proving them wrong, focus on proving yourself right. So that brings us to the end of this first part, module 1. And as a bit of a follow-up, we have a call to action for you. So in order for you to get the most out of this training, I highly recommend that you complete the following tasks before moving on to part 2. The Secret by Rhonda Byrne was life-changing for me. It's available on Netflix, and sometimes you can also find it on YouTube. And a recommended read would be The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I wish I'd have been told about this book before I started on my personal development journey, because for me, this has been the glue that's put everything else into perspective, into order, and made it stick. So yes, your call to action for this module 1, part 1 is watch The Secret and read The Slight Edge. I hope you found this valuable and you got something from it. And I will see you shortly for part 2. Thank you. Bye.